Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Colin here with Techout, and today we are going to be installing iOS 26 Beta 7. It just came out. We are on a weekly release schedule now, so that is good. I'm going to pop over to the iPhone here. I haven't started anything. I just got home from work, so like I said last week, I am going to start having to do these streams, not that they're releasing the betas on Mondays. I'm going to have to start doing it after I get home from work because Tuesday is currently my day off. So that's where we're at right now. We're going to go ahead and pop on in. One good thing about being a little bit later, though, is we don't have to wait for the changelog or anything like that. Everything just pops right up. We are coming in at 9.27 gigabytes here on my iPhone 16 Pro Max. So we're going to let that do its thing. I've got my iPad here as well. And I'm going to do a video on this, but my iPad at about 93 charge cycles, my iPad actually dropped down to 99% of maximum capacity, which was quite surprising because my iPhone 16 Pro Max is currently at about 217 cycles and it's still at 100%. So was a bit surprised to see it drop below 100% before we even broke 100 cycles. So I'm gonna do a video on that, little battery health update on the iPad here coming up, but we're gonna get this installed here on the iPhone first. Let's take a look here at Mac rumors, and we'll go ahead and take a look and see what's new. Looks like the public beta is already out as well, which is nice because it looks like the betas are pretty much matching at this point. Beta 6 and the public beta 3 were the same. So, you know, we're basically at the end of the, adding new stuff. It's kind of just refining everything and, bug fixes and stuff like this at that point, or at this point. Let me check on my other iPhone here. I use this one for work, so I don't really show this one on camera because it's got work stuff on it, but I am running the public beta on it. So we'll see if it is available. Yep, so we do have public beta 4 here. Again, this is the iPhone 16e, 8.9 gigabytes. I'm going to go ahead and update that one as well. But I see a couple new features we'll go over. Again, there's not going to be too many changes just because we are nearing the end of the beta. So obviously they're going to be refining things. They're not going to be adding a bunch of new stuff in here that's going to introduce a bunch of new bugs and all that kind of stuff because, that would kind of just start us over from square one. So we are nearing the end. The build is ending in the letter A. So I would say in the next couple weeks, we're probably going to get the release candidate. I would say we probably have a beta 8 next week, and then depending on when the Apple event's going to be, I'm probably going to say it's going to be the week of the 15th, or the week of the 14th, I guess technically, if you're in the US and your week starts on Sunday. September 1st is Labor Day, so we probably won't get any betas or any updates that week. So if they release the RC build on the 8th, that would probably put iOS 26 coming out to the public on the 15th. And then that's usually when the iPhone pre-orders are going to start. And then they should start delivering on the 19th. So that's just a guess right now. Obviously, we don't have anything official from Apple or anything like that yet on when the Apple event is going to be for the iPhone 17, but just my guess based on where we are with the beta. So we're about 80% of the way there on my 16 Pro Max. And then we'll be able to take a quick look at a couple of the changes here in beta 7. And if you guys aren't already in the Discord, the link is in the description. If you guys want to join the Discord, we've got a chat going on over there for the beta and everything like that. So make sure you guys check out the Discord and join over there. All right, about 90% of the way there. And again, I have been using my Galaxy Z Fold 7 lately as my daily driver, but I've been using my iPad every day, so I still am kind of on, the betas daily. All right, there we go. We're going to hit install now. And of course, we'll have to do our Geekbench test as well to see where beta 7 falls. My iPad's actually almost done. I didn't start that one until way after, and it was about the same size. And now we wait for the install to complete. If anybody's running beta 7, let me know. Any bugs, any issues you guys are seeing, what kind of new features not new features, but what kind of new changes have you noticed? Let me know what everybody's seeing. Slowly but surely getting the update here. Oop, just kicked my desk. While we wait for that, I saw the MX Master 4 was about to come out. Super excited about that. I love my MX Master 3. As you guys can see, it's well used. I've been using this mouse for I don't know how long, but I've had a few of these. Not just the 3S. Obviously, I've only had the one 3S. Never had any issues with it or anything like that. But great mouse, very comfortable. I think I had like the 3 and then the 2 or 2S before that, whatever those were. So absolutely love those. But yep, I saw a leak for the 4, so I'll definitely be picking one of those up. Mark says he's still on beta 6 right now. Looking forward to the RC. Yeah, we're definitely getting really close because they have the developer beta and the public beta releasing on the same day. So you can tell they're getting the builds really close together. And we have just started up here. So let's go ahead and unlock for the first time. See if we have any new splash screens or anything. Doesn't look like we do. Just went straight in. So first things first is we do have new animations, which I'm going to let everything kind of load in here. But we do have a little bit of a new animation. Again, they've kind of been refining that over the past couple betas. But one of the other things in here is if we go to battery and we go to power mode, where you have your adaptive power, there is now an option to toggle on a notification. So you get a notification when your iPhone actually goes into the adaptive power mode, which is kind of nice to know because there really was no way to know whether your iPhone was going into adaptive power or using the adaptive power mode before this. So now you can turn that on if you want to get a notification when it starts using the adaptive power mode. So that was the two main things that I've seen here in beta 7 is the notifications, or the adaptive power notifications, and then the refinement of the animations and stuff like that again. So we're going to pop open into Geekbench here. And again, these scores right here, there's beta 6, beta 5, beta 4, re-release, beta 4 original, and beta 3 down here on the bottom. Beta 3 is when I started doing the Geekbench test. So we're going to go ahead and run the CPU benchmark and let that run. I'm doing this kind of right after the phone boots up because that's where I've been doing it when I've been doing it on the previous ones. So I just want the phone to be kind of the same temperature and be doing the same, kind of background task. The print screen bug is fixed as well, Mark says. I never ran into that bug, but that is good to know that they have fixed that. So we're going to let this run here. My other iPhone, my 16E, is currently installing the public beta, and my iPad is currently installing the developer beta of iPadOS 26. And my iPad just finished. I'm not gonna show the iPad because it's basically the same. I just brought it out because I wanted to show you guys that the battery health had dropped. For those of you watching right now, I'll just show it again. There we go. 99% battery health, and we haven't even hit 100 cycles yet. So that's a little bit disappointing, but you know, is what it is. And then the iPad does not have the adaptive power option, so that is not something that exists on iPadOS. Can you install it on your iPhone 16 Pro Max? Yes, all this is available for the 16 Pro Max. Hey, I answered your question. You can install it on the 16 Pro Max. All right, so that's almost done running. Excuse me. All right, there is the score. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's see. So 2831 and 7617, and we'll go back here and we'll see how that compares to beta 6. So you can see we dropped a little bit compared to beta 6, about 100 difference there, 130-ish, and then about the same for about 100 for multi-core. A little bit higher than beta 4. Yeah, beta 4 re-release right there. Beta 4 original had the highest score out of all of them back in July, but not too bad. Everything, like I said, is performing pretty well. Obviously, these numbers don't mean anything on paper. You know, in the real world, in your actual use cases, they're just kind of some on paper numbers, but it looks like it's performing very well so far. It started up nicely right out of the gate. Everything is, you know, loading in there very smoothly. Everything opens and closes very well. As you can see here with our animations and stuff like that, everything is very fluid and smooth. And I like to remind everybody that, you know, the camera is only at 30 frames a second, so it may appear a little stuttery and laggy on the camera, but it's not actually like that in person, because the iPhone 16 Pro Max has 120 hertz refresh rate, whereas the camera is only capturing it in 30. Do I use adaptive power? I have not been using adaptive power, just because I didn't really know when it was going to be limiting it. But I did go ahead and turn it on, just because I can now enable the notifications. I actually might have had it on for a little bit and not really paid attention to it. I wasn't using it at first, back in like beta 1 through 3 when the battery life was really bad, and the performance was kind of limited anyway. I wasn't using it, but I just turned it on, and I'm going to leave the notifications on and see when, you know, see how often it actually uses adaptive power. So I'm kind of curious to see that. Like I said, right now, my daily driver is my Galaxy Z Fold 7. So we'll have to see about the adaptive power thing. I might switch over to my iPhone and use it for a few days and just see if it uses adaptive power mode any, and like what kind of changes I see. But other than that, not really too much here to report in beta 7. Like I said, it's mostly going to be refinements, bug fixes, and, you know, little changes like this. Swift Nerd, I don't know, I've said it twice now. Yes, you can install this on your iPhone 16 Pro Max. That question's been answered about 3 times now, and you're still asking it. So I don't know if you have your computer muted and you're not reading the comments and you're just asking questions, but yes, you can install it on your 16 Pro Max. But there we go. It's running very well right out of the box, right out of the gate. We'll have to see how battery life is. Again, I'm not using this daily right now, but battery life has definitely stabilized, and gotten a lot better in the later betas. See more changes in the RC. I don't think we'll see a lot of changes in the RC. They're not going to add stuff in the RC because the RC is the final. The RC is the final build before it comes out, so they're not going to put a lot of stuff to be tested in there. You know, they're not going to be having a bunch of changes that they need tested in the RC. We probably won't see a bunch of changes until 18 or 26.1, 26.2. That's where we're going to see the more significant changes and stuff like that when those betas start. Which that 18 or sorry, I keep saying 18. 26.1 should start shortly after iOS 26 is released to the public. So look forward to that. I will do some updates on this as always if there's anything significant or anything like that. And then next week we'll install beta 8 if that becomes available, and that's probably going to be the last beta before we see the RC, in my opinion. Just my estimation. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, click that subscribe button, click that like button. It helps out a lot. And as always, I'm Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. And as always,